Have you ever gotten to March or April and wondered how in the world are you going to cover everything you still need to teach before the end of the school year? Yep, me too. And that is why I am showing you my exact process of how I plan out the rest of the school year now here in January so that I can make sure I get all of my standards covered. If you're new here, I'm Rachel Vincent and I love sharing ways to simplify your classroom and your teaching. Before we get started, there are a few things that you need to in order to do this process. You're going to want your school calendar so you know which days you actually have with students, a list of units that you still have left to teach, and paper if you are a paper planner, or a computer, which is how I'm going to show you how to create it on your computer so you can keep it from year to year. Once you have all those things, let's jump over to the computer so I can show you exactly how to do this, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time. Do this in a Google Doc. You can do this in anything that you know that you will use and works well for you, so please make it your own. I'm just going to call this 2024 Jan to June plans. All right, the first thing I like to do is insert a table, and let's see, there I need date, unit, and how long I think it'll take, or notes maybe. And then I really just need to see how many weeks I have left. So I know you can't see it on my screen here, but I do have in my next tab, I have my district calendar. So I'm just going to count real quick how many weeks we have. 19 weeks. Okay, so 3, and we'll make it 19, which I'm sure we'll take into the next page, but it's all good. Actually, I probably need one more so I can have a title. All right, so this first one is going to be our dates. The next one is going to be the unit. And this one is just going to be for notes so that as you're planning, if you think you need to remember something, or this is really helpful too when you are teaching it to remind yourself for next year, you don't need to take as long or you need to take longer, maybe do something different. So that's really great. All right, so since I am a little extra, I like to, make my title stand out, and I want to make this centered. And I actually am going to make it all capital, again, extra. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go through and put in the dates with my district calendar so that I know what we have going on. So I am starting with, I'm going to start the first full week of January, which is January 8th through 12th. And so you're just going to do that. And then I'm going to make a note over here that this is a 4-day week because of Martin Luther King Day. Now that I have taken care of, I've sort of marked off our 4-day weeks, when spring break is. Sometimes I've even added a whole row in here to insert row above to say that this is spring break, just to sort of visually see when I need to wrap something up so that we're not taking it over the break. I try to, it doesn't always happen. So I'm just merging the cells together there, and that way it'll stand out a little bit. Okay, so one thing I'm going to go ahead and do is, I know this is our last week of school, so this is all going to be just review, or it's really going to be end of year activities. And more than likely, we will have our state testing. I'm guessing they haven't come out with our schedule yet. I'm guessing it's these 2 weeks. It's sometimes we go towards the year before, but I'm just guessing because, again, I don't know. We have a new schedule this year. Normally we're out in June. We started school early this year, so we will finish at the end of May. Then I sort of look and see, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks till spring break. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks until state testing. And I want to make sure that I can get everything taught in those 15 weeks. I'm hoping, I'm going to put this here for now, I'm hoping this will be review week so that we are reviewing all the standards before state testing, but we'll see. So I am going to do math with you guys, kind of go from there. So we finish up geometry before Christmas or winter break, and this first week back is actually our benchmark testing. so we don't really get anything taught that week. And then we go into angles. Angles is our next unit, and our angles unit, measuring angles, is really what it is. That usually takes us 2 weeks. Let me double check and look at our pacing guide that our district provides. Yeah, so it actually usually takes a week and a half, and I bet we could start angles here because benchmarking is only 3 days, and so we'll have 5 days. So I think that will be good. Oh, this is a 4-day week. So actually, yeah, let's just make it 2 weeks. Then we go into converting measurements, and that takes us, I believe, 2 weeks. Yep. Then we have the multiplicative comparison. Okay, that's a week-long unit, and elapsed time is a week-long, and perimeter and area is in the same week. We've already covered area when we taught area model, so it's really just review. All right, and then what we like to do is hit all word problems because we have multi-step word problems, so we like to spend a good solid couple weeks on that. All right, when we get back from spring break, so our third quarter benchmarking is here. So that leaves us, okay, so this is where I start to get close to my review. We still need to get in adding and subtracting, mixed numbers, multiplying fractions, and decimals. So I know decimals is a week long. We just introduced them. Okay, multiplying fractions, and then add and subtract mixed numbers. I know we need a little bit more time. So I think what I'm gonna do is this is when I'll go back and sort of see. I think we should probably split this one and we'll start converting measurements, because if I'm starting here on a Tuesday, that gives me 2, that gives me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days is probably enough for that unit. So then we will start, so this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days would probably be enough. So let's try multiplicative here. And this is where like you have to kind of get creative to make sure you can fit everything. So we really only need 5 days for that. This is a 4-day week, so let's get that elapsed time in here. So we probably, elapsed time can be tough. I think we could probably fit perimeter and area, or start perimeter here. Perimeter and area / word problems. Since we've already taught area, it's really just a review. All right, so that gives me, wait, no, that's not what I wanted. That's the wrong spot. There we go. So that 4-day week, I don't want to start, see, this is where it starts to get a little bit challenging because I'm like, do I want to start adding mixed numbers before spring break? Yes. We need to. We can add mixed numbers. That's easier. And then hit that hard because it's a 4-day week there. I wonder, let's see. And we can start multiplying fractions here on those 2 days. So that gives me a little bit extra time. And we'll probably have to start the week with decimals and end with review. And then this would probably be sort of end of year activities, because this is really only 2 days. Well, 2 of these are half days, so that's sort of how I plan it out. Is it ideal always? No, but sometimes you just have to go with what works. I do think this is enough time to cover everything, and what this helps me do is instead of doing one topic a week, I realize I kind of need to split some of my weeks in order to fit everything in by state testing. And again, as I am teaching this year and it works out to where I don't need as much time, I can mark in my notes here that, hey, next year you only need to take this many days to teach this unit. And it's really helpful just to sort of see how long things actually take. Of course, it depends on your group of students. Sometimes things take longer, sometimes things take shorter, but this at least gives me a starting point of how to plan. That way I can make sure I get everything covered before those state testing days. This process really is that simple. It does take a little bit of time to do, but once you have it, you are good to go for the rest of the year, and it will actually make your weekly planning a little bit easier. I have even taken this process and planned out my entire year so I know where I'm starting and where I'm ending. If you're interested in seeing how I take something like this and use it in my weekly planning to plan out a week of school, check out the video that's on your screen now.